Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress of Comic News, episode 212. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside Beware. It's Mike.
Hey, it's me, and we're here with another awesome special guest. Mr. Will Perkins will be joining us later in the show. Talk about his story Goblin. Really cool stuff. Chris and I had both read the graphic novel, and it's awesome. That's all we can say. So look forward to that. I got some fun story news. Well, not news, but story time with you this week, Chris.
Okay.
I started traveling for work again, and I found myself in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and part of the thing
And Dr. Manhattan showed up.
Yeah, the Dr. Manhattan, the giant squid, and here I am. But long story short, when I used to travel for work, I would look up local comic shops and check them out. And I had found one in Tulsa. I actually went to the Bad Idea website because everybody knows the Bad Idea comics, and you only get in certain shops. And one of them just happened to be in Tulsa. I have nothing near me in Albany, New York, but apparently Tulsa had one. And I went into the shop, Impulse Comics and Games, I believe. And I'll probably tag him in a tweet. I think I tagged him when I posted a picture of some comics. Great shop. I missed doing this, just walking into a shop, and they had a pretty awesome section for indie comics. They devoted a whole wall just to indie stuff. So you had Stephanie Phillips' Red Atlantic there. You had an Ahoy thing. You had a whole section for Aftershock. And then the Bad Idea thing was right on the counter. One per person. So it was just awesome to see. It was Wednesday. I hadn't realized the person I was traveling with, I just met for the first time. He was a sales guy with me, and it was we had an hour to kill before we got to the airport, and he's like, well, we don't have that much time to really do anything. And I was like, all right, well, you want to go to this comic shop? And he's like, let's do it. And I was like, hell yeah. I was like,
best friends forever.
Yeah, and I was like, he's not into comics. I mean, he kind of knew I was in comics after traveling with him for a couple days, but it was just cool. I mean, I was explaining a lot of the shit going on in different publishers and stuff like that. And I think he bought the DC Superhero Girls for his daughters. That was cartoon that's now a book. So, and then he bought one of the Bad Idea comics, and he's like, "Is this good?" I'm like, "Honestly, I have no idea, but the first printing sold out, so it's probably really good." And Matt Kint was writing it, so that was my little story for the week. But it feels good to step foot in the comic shop again and see indie comics alive and well.
That's good. That's if we ever get to the point where we or I ever get to the point where going places for cons and shit. Mm-hmm. I want to do that. Just go to local shops and just check it out. I would love to do more of that.
Yeah.
I don't do enough traveling in my life. My job obviously doesn't make me do a whole lot of traveling outside of the small square area where I throw packages on a porch. But I would love to do more of that.
Yeah, it was just nice to be out and seeing comics alive and well,
My weekend has been all about the zen of life as I play the new Pokemon Snap.
Oh, that came out.
I take some pictures of some Pokemon.
How is it? Is it awesome?
It's exactly what you remember Pokemon Snap being. It's just got this weird. I love when everybody the kids are asleep. It's just me and the missus, and she's playing Call of Duty, screaming at people top for lungs, and I'm just sitting there in the zone, just in a happy mood, just oh, it's a fucking Bidoof. Oh my god, it's a fucking Pikachu. Oh my god. And just loving it. So I wish I had this in my life all the time, so I could just kind of chill out and be let's go take some pictures of some Pokemon, guys.
Yeah. So, I mean, without spoiling too much of the game, have there been secret ones that you find? I remember throwing an apple or something at Pokemon in the original one.
Yeah, so it's funny. I haven't gotten too far, but there are there's glowing Pokemon and all this weird shit.
Man.
I read an interview with the guys who are making this, and there's actual real thought put into the idea of some of that stuff from the original one. Maybe we shouldn't be throwing apples at random animals and shit. It's not really nice in their ecosystem. And I'm just these fucking people thought about it way more than I did, and I wrote a comic based on this.
No, I just wanted to whip an apple at a Pokemon. What do you mean? That was the best part.
You can like feed them berries and all this, and you
nice.
can like whistle, or it's not whistle. It's like a click on the camera, and they'll pose for you.
Oh wow,
it's fun. It's chill. It's just kind of zen out and just have a good afternoon vibe kind of game.
Nice. That's awesome. I forgot. Yeah, I gotta get it because I forgot it came out. I did try Just Dance this weekend. It kicked my ass. So.
And I also discovered that there was a Marvel Legends MODOK figure.
Oh.
And if you watched me on Twitter, you saw me going like, I don't need it, I don't need it, I don't need it. And that was my head for like 4 days. Like, I don't need it, I don't need it, I don't need it. I'm not going to buy it.
Uh-huh.
And then one day I'm just like, fuck, I'm fine. And I bought it.
Well, I mean, come on. In your defense, how much MODOK stuff do they really make out there?
They don't make much. And it's apparently huge because it's a fairly expensive figure. It's not like a $20 figure. It's like a decent price figure.
Oh, okay.
And I saw some pictures of like people who have it on their bookshelf and everything, and it's like to size with the other figures because MODOK is very much bigger than your average character. So
he's a big boy.
Yeah, I think I only have like a couple MODOK things. So it's at the end of the day, I kind of had to. Yeah. But we're also coming into a world where there's going to be a MODOK thing on everywhere.
Right.
Little kids are going to have MODOK shirts soon after this Hulu show. So
yeah, for sure. All right, let's get into the TV news. We got to talk Invincible this week. Holy shit, season finale was wild. But Warner Brothers has cast as Guy Gardner for the upcoming HBO Max Green Lantern show. So I guess, I mean, whether it's happening or not, we're getting casting. Finn Wittrock will take on the role, and that is the person. He's from a little well-known TV series called American Horror Story. So I'm trying to think which person he was in American Horror Story because I've watched seasons of that.
And a very successful show that I have not watched a single frame of. But
oh, okay, yeah, he's got the Guy Gardner face for sure. He's got the chin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see him being a little smug little asshole.
Yeah, a piece of shit. Yeah, he was the creepy dude that was he was like the clown guy, or he was like murdering people. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's got that shit-eating grin that makes you want to deck him in the face. Perfect for Guy Gardner.
Exactly. So I think it's hilarious that the first casting news we get is Guy Gardner.
Yeah, the least favorite of all the lanterns. That's funny.
But it's also like, it just made me happy reading the articles where like they cast Guy Gardner for the Green Lantern show, and then we go further down, it's like the Green Lantern show that's said to have blah 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 blah, and Alan Scott. And I'm just like, Alan Scott's gonna be in the show.
Yeah, please. Oh man.
I hope that they do justice by this. I hope that the Green Lantern show is really good, because that's a property that deserves it more than any other comic book property out there right now. Green Lantern deserves justice.
Just make Brad Pitt Alan Scott and be done with it at this point.
That's not bad.
Yeah, pretty good casting, huh? You can take my ideas, DC. I don't care. They're free.
As long as I see Brad Pitt in a flashback sequence and he just sucks in a bunch of gas, he's like, wait, no, is that?
No, that's Jay Garrick. You're thinking
that's
of Jay
Garrick. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Alan Scott
he's got to get into the. Yeah, he's got to get into the train accident.
That's the train accident. He finds the lantern. Yeah.
When I think JSA, I just think of the fucking
breathing in
real fast
superpowers. Yeah, Jay Garrick's origin's wild. For anyone who hasn't looked it up, read that shit. It's comic book science at its finest. I mean, it doesn't get more comic book science than that.
Speaking of which, I need to find time this week, but that Justice Society show, movie, is out.
Oh, the animated one.
Yeah, it's out digitally.
Okay.
So I need to watch that.
Yeah, for sure. We got a first trailer for the upcoming Sweet Tooth series at Netflix, release date of June 4th. I watched it. I never read Sweet Tooth, so I mean, I guess I'll check it out. Did you ever read that?
No, it's one of those ones I kept meaning to read and never got around to. I want to read it before the show comes out. At least the first trade before the show comes out.
Yeah, for sure.
did not realize how fucking dark that series is.
Mhm.
Apparently, because
Yeah.
like little kid with like deer ears, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden like they're hunting him down, trying to kill him. Like, okay,
Yeah, I don't know. It's Jeff Lemire, right?
yeah. And
Yeah.
there's a great picture. This always makes me happy, just as a fan of a creator who gets to see his creation turn into what it is. But there's a picture of Jeff standing next to the boy playing. I don't know the lead character's name,
Oh, nice.
and just him being like, "I can't believe that this is a thing."
Yeah, that's so funny. Like out of all his properties to pick, and they go with that one first, like, um, but
It's nuts,
ho-
yeah.
hopefully that means we get a Gideon Falls show fairly soon.
You see, that's coming to an end.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. Like
Yeah.
it should be wrapped up fairly soon. There's not a whole lot more they could do with the story, I think.
Yeah, because I saw Andrew Sorrentino is like teasing his next project. I'm like, ooh, I like your work.
Yeah, nice. All right. So Invincible episode 8 dropped, the season finale. Where do I start? This a lot of parts of this episode. I mean, episode 7 ends with the Immortal being ripped in half and Invincible realizing, oh shit, my dad's a bad guy. My dad's a baddie. uh, and then the whole like half of the episode is Omni-Man convincing his son that humans are expendable and just murdering tons of people. It was hard to watch, like the train scene. Holy shit! Uh, the train. He's just holding Mark in front of the train, and he's just like people are being murdered on him. It was like insane. Like that was never in the comics. But whoever writes this show, you're sick. You're a sick individual. And I guess it's Seth Rogen, right? He probably like hit his bog and was like, like this would be really good.
Actually, I can look it up again, but I'm pretty sure that Kirkman wrote this episode.
Did he? Kirkman, you son of a bitch. That would make sense. Like, what could I? How could I top? The gore and the I don't even know. It's nuts. I mean, they got me hooked on the show with the first episode, and I think a lot of people are going back and watching it now that it's wrapped up and like realizing, oh shit, this show's kind of crazy. But I mean, so much else happened. Oh, I don't know if you realize, but we got a glimpse of Conquest in the flashback. For any of the people that don't know, Conquest is a Vulturemite that's pretty much the baddest of the baddies. So they kind of tease that where they're like, oh, hey, the Viltrum will not leave you guys alone, so they're going to send people, and Conquest is the one person they sent to reclaim Earth, and Mark has an epic battle with him, so it's going to be sick.
Yeah, Kirkman wrote this last episode.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah. So give me Conquest. I want like the first episode of next season to be Conquest.
Yeah, I love the way they ended the episode too.
Yeah,
like just Mark and Alan sitting down, and Alan's just like, "Oh, so you're Vulturemite."
Yeah, like, right. Nice.
There was a lot to love about it. It was very much action packed. It was very much like Omni-Man making his very villain turn, which will be interesting. I hope they do the same thing they did in the comic, because I believe, if I remember correctly, he goes to that like bug planet.
Yep.
And basically just starts breeding with everybody.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Just watching this whole series was so
I don't
happy.
know. So,
I didn't think this was going to be as good as it ended up being.
Did you know Mark Hamill voices the costume designer guy?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I was like, that sounds a lot like Joker, and then I paused it and was like, oh, Mark Hamill. I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah. Those sequences too, where they're all just kind of reflecting on like that guy's not the guy I knew. What happened, and like especially the bad with names, but the costume designer's name, character, just sitting there and like looking at that picture of him and Omni-Man like fishing one weekend, and he's just like, "Fuck."
Yeah,
that montage hit me hard.
The I don't know if they can come back like they do in the comics though, because like Omni-Man does way more shit, like kills way more people in that whole sequence than he does in the comics, I believe. I don't remember the train scene in the comics, but I don't remember how many people he kills. But it's gonna be kind of hard to come back to Earth and have everybody on your side.
Yeah. Does he come back to Earth and like? Do people of Earth accept him, or is it just like Cecil that accepts him? And because doesn't he live on like the space station?
Oh, maybe, yeah, yeah. They live on the space station together.
Yeah, my mind's clouded with like what this series. I want to reread it at some point because it's been forever.
I know people that have like finished the show that want to read the comics now because of how good it was, and it's like, yeah, it's one of my favorite comic book series of all time. So, that being said, it has been renewed for a second and third season. So,
just nuts. Like,
yeah,
I wasn't sure if we were gonna get a second season.
Right.
We're pretty much guaranteed a third. That's awesome.
Yeah, I cannot wait.
Hopefully that means more Battle Cat.
Yeah, we do get a glimpse of him, right?
Yeah,
we got a glimpse of a lot of the things going on for the comics. So, I mean, there's so much they could do. And back to it though, Robot's voice, man. I wish Zachary Quinto was still doing that, but yeah, maybe he had some bigger and better things to do.
Yeah, is there another Star Trek movie coming out?
Maybe. Movie talk. Did you watch Mortal Kombat?
I did.
What did you think?
It's fun. Like I enjoyed my time with it. It's goofy as shit, though.
Oh yeah, it's really goofy. How about the scene where he's like, everybody knows that one friend, and I think I was that friend that spams the drop kick move in the game, and that scene where like Kano keeps getting drop kicked is pretty hilarious.
I love it because Kato literally does the jump from the old game and then like comes down and he gets hit again.
Yeah.
As a whole, like it was fine. It's a fun 2 hours or whatever. Anybody's trying to take like I saw some people like I think we started talking about this off air, but like the whole air cut thing. I saw people being like, we need a director's cut of this. I'm like, you people need to shut up.
Yeah, just watch them. It was, dude, the Scorpion and Sub-Zero scenes were amazing.
So the fight sequences are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know some people have tried to correct me, but I don't care. I still think that the lead character is supposed to be like basically Scorpion.
Yeah.
But like, because I know there's different iterations of Scorpion throughout the timeline.
Right.
So he's basically the next Scorpion, and like, so Scorpion being a failed MMA fighter kind of bugs me. Yeah. Like, I'm not a fan of him, but everybody else was cool. I like the fact that we're gonna get like, basically zombie Liu Kang and all that in future movies because they basically teased it. I cringed when the guy said like, what was it, fatality?
Yeah, flawless victory.
Flawless victory. I cringed at that.
Kano was hilarious though in this movie.
Kano's good. I liked him.
Some of his like one-liners are pretty great, but the fights were awesome. For what it was, I think they did a great job. The middle gets kind of jumbled, but the beginning and end are pretty solid. The fight scenes are the best part. That was Jimmy Olsen, by the way, playing Jax. That's Jimmy Olsen from Supergirl. I didn't realize because number one, he's like super he's pretty large in Supergirl, but he's always wearing like baggy clothes and like a blazer. But this dude like had his shirt off for the whole movie, and also he's got like a goatee, so I couldn't really recognize him. And then he started talking, I'm like, holy shit, that's Jimmy Olsen.
So there's two things about the movie: one that made me laugh, and one that really frustrated me. Jax, when he has like his dainty arms,
his little,
and all I could think of like, it's my strong hand.
Yeah, it's my strong hand. Yeah, it was kind of goofy looking for sure.
And I can't remember the character's name because I always hated him in the game. But the dude with like the iron lung who runs real fast.
Oh yeah,
his voice was terrible.
Yeah, I hated his voice. It sounded so fake almost. I don't know.
It just sounded so weak and lame. He needs to be almost Darth Vader-esque.
Mm-hmm.
maybe not in the exact tone, but like he needs to have that deep and like kind of muddled metallic voice, not like
right.
I don't know, an Australian who just got kicked in the nuts or something. Like that's what he sounded like to me.
Yeah.
It's no. I'll be
Fun.
there for the second one. As
Oh
soon as
yeah,
they showed the ending, where it's just like, oh yeah, here comes Johnny Cage. I'm like,
yeah,
okay,
I'm like,
man.
dude, they showed Johnny Cage. I'm like, come on, man, please. I want Johnny Cage to be like Batista or someone.
Well, what was they keep saying the Miz,
The Miz, yeah, another wrestler, yeah, that would be good too.
which
I
if
think,
I'm remembering correctly, is the wrestler who used to be on Real World.
yeah, it's weird, man,
Yeah,
because that's a reality show and wrestling is pretty much a reality show, so why not?
it's nuts. But it's if you like Mortal Kombat, it's a fun 2 hours. If you're just a kung fu fan, I don't know if it's going to really do anything for you. I thought the fight scenes were cool.
Yeah, fight scenes are really cool.
But it's not going to make any top 10 lists.
But also, I don't know how you walk into Warner Brothers and say, you got a pitch for a Mortal Kombat movie, but you started off with, there's not going to be a Mortal Kombat tournament.
It's like, so that made me laugh. Our good friend Travis Gibb.
Yep.
Before I saw the movie, he just posted like no spoilers, but I would really love like a tournament in my Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
And it just made me think of my Wonder Woman reviewers. Like it'd be nice to have some Wonder Woman in my Wonder Woman movie.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, because that was wild. It was like they talk about this tournament for like the first half of the movie, and then they're like, "Oh, by the way, we scrapped the tournament. We don't have it in the budget. Like, COVID hit, so no tournaments this year."
I did the scene where they're in like the other realm, and Raiden like sends them all to their like the fighting arena.
Yeah,
and it's literally just arenas from the game.
Yeah,
it's like we're just gonna match you up and you fight here.
Yeah,
that made me laugh. Like they teetered that line of like too cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I don't think it's a bad movie. Like I'm gonna shit on it because it is super cheesy, but it never goes over the hump.
Right.
It never like hits that wall where it's just like, okay, like we gone too far.
Right. No, I agree. Still enjoyable to watch.
It's a lot of fun. Everybody check it out, especially it's free.
Yeah, it's free. Well, if you have HBO, right?
If you don't, what are you doing?
I know.
What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? And also, what are you doing if you're not listening to this interview? So we're gonna jump to that with Will Perkins, and we'll see everybody on the other side.
And we're back.
Awesome. So yeah, check out all the cool stuff and pre-order Goblin. It's really good. I mean, we already said it. What else do you need, right? So
yeah, especially you got kids getting into reading. Like,
yeah, no, I agree.
Really cool
book. Okay, and then the little bit of comic book news we have this week. DC has announced that DC Fandome. They're keeping the name, everyone. That's it. Second year in a row. It's coming back this year on October 16th. The event will stream online in a similar 24-hour fashion as last year's event. I watched last year's event, and it was pretty dope. So, yeah, I think this is a great idea. I just wish they changed the name.
Yeah, and I'll just read the news afterwards.
Yeah.
To be fair, if it was Marvel Fandom, I would watch all 24 hours too.
Right.
So I'm not shitting on you for that.
I pick and choose what I wanted to see. There was some good stuff, like interviews with, like I think they interviewed James Gunn, and then that's when they dropped the Suicide Squad trailer. So that was fun to watch.
But that's why I wonder is it going to be like last year? Because like didn't they drop the Suicide Squad game trailer last year too?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And are we just going to rehash some of the stuff from last year?
I think they're going to set up the schedule like. I think we're getting a Batman trailer. Hopefully.
Didn't we get a Batman trailer already?
Well, a new Batman. Someone said there's like a new Batman trailer out. Like I've been seeing it on the internet and like promo images. So, but also I think we're gonna get the new slate of the DC cinematic universe because they can't just let a couple movies come out. They have to like prepare for the next 20 years like Marvel did. So. I think we're going to get something in a similar fashion.
I'm going to put my chips all in, and they're going to announce Justice League Snyder Cut Volume 2. Whatever
cool.
they're gonna call it.
Yeah.
Snyder's gonna get his number 2 on it. That's what I'm calling.
Nice. No, I think that's fine. Why not?
But outside of that, I just wonder, because of the reality of the world we live in, COVID, blah blah blah, how much stuff was supposed to have come out and has now been pushed so far that's just like, okay, let's rehash these trailers again.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it is a reality. I'm not gonna shit on anybody for doing that because it's what it is. But it just makes it a little bit less of appealing for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe we get the Black Adam trailer, and I'm just like, what the? Okay.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, let's jump to what we read this week. I read quite a bit. Traveling on a plane helps me catch up on reading. Let's see. I read all the way up to Legends of the Dark Knight #4. This is the Derek Robertson art and writing, and I know Stephanie Phillips announced she's taking over like issue 6. So good for Stephanie. That's pretty awesome. This like
did she say who's drawing hers?
I'm not sure. I think she did, but this issue was we get a new villain. So Derek Robertson sets up like we think it's the Riddler, but it's not. It's a girl named Quiz that kind of looks like the Riddler, but that's cool. It's fun to see new villains. Berserker #2. This is the Matt Kint, Keanu Reeves book. Have you been reading this?
No.
Basically, this immortal dude is, fighting for the U.S. government, but we get the origin of like basically these cavemen people were like being attacked by this neighboring village, and they like prayed to the gods for a weapon to fight back, and it's this crazy scene where like this lightning bolt hits her in the uterus, and she pretty much has sex with a god, and and then they birth Keanu Reeves, and he's pretty much like the immortal fighter, and he was, born to save their town. And so he kills like the people that are invading the town, and he's like, that's the last time I was happy. So he's starting to remember like where he came from and stuff like that.
That's some Zeus shit right there.
Yeah, it was pretty cool though. If you're not reading this, it was a pretty cool issue. 20 Fists. This is Frankie White, right? That we had on the show last week. This is solid. It's like, the Jets and the Sharks and beating each other up, and it was cool. I mean, it's $1.99 in Comixology for a first issue. Solid story about these people in a relationship, and like two warring gangs that don't like each other. So, and the art was really cool. I think you should check it out. Batman Superman. This is number 17. This was wild.
Oh yeah.
Like this whole story is just crazy. The art is amazing. They're still doing the film reel things. We get Superman and Lois Lane coming to Batman's world, and then you get the Warden showing up with like souped up versions of Batman villains. Like you get a giant penguin, like who kind of looks like Solomon Grundy. You have Joker, but he's got like mouths all over his body. It's really creepy to look at. And then like I don't know the name of this guy. They find out it's like an android, right? He's an archivist.
I want to say the Warden.
Yeah,
I didn't realize until they said the line. I did not realize it was Lex Luthor.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, because he has a goatee, but he's bald. Yeah, so it is Lex Luthor.
Yeah, he's the archivist. That's the guy.
The archivist. So we find out he's like orchestrating everything. He's got Batman, Superman trapped in this. So basically, this whole story we get is just another universe that archivist pulls kryptonite out of. Like, it's not like part of the main story, but it's a story going on, and that's where he gets this kryptonite out of to fight Batman and Superman in real time. At least that's the way I understood it, right?
Yeah. So he's like directing this world to create drama. He's a failed film student,
pretty much,
and
yeah,
and in this world, there's like a kryptonite bracelet, and I'm guessing he's huge because he uses it as a ring.
Right.
I love this issue. I love this book.
It's so good. It is really
This
good.
this is everything I've always wanted out of Superman Batman. Like I've always checked out Superman Batman books and I've
Yep.
enjoyed them,
Yep.
but I always thought there was more there, and this is it. Like
Yep.
everybody pick this book up. It's awesome.
I read Injustice all of season 1, so that was over 400 pages. I read it.
God.
I will say it's worth the hype. That story is amazing, like the rise and fall of Superman and like him just spiraling into insanity. So now I got to read season 2, because it ends where Superman's pretty much gone off the rails.
Yeah, and remembering that was supposed to be a 4-issue miniseries.
Right, and you can tell the art gets progressively better towards the end because like, oh, more people are buying this, so we need to make it look pretty. It can't just be Tom Taylor's writing, even though that's what holds up, right?
Yeah.
Great story. I gotta read season 2. That was just it though. I had to sit and read all those 400 pages. I couldn't put it down. Transmetropolitan, I'm halfway through the first. I don't know if they're like collected editions. It's about, I don't know, 300 pages. I've read about 100. That book is just wild. I mean, Derek Robertson's art. It's Warren Ellis writing it. He's a little. I know we kind of canceled him, but I'm treating it like the I can't think of the creator of Harry Potter, but nobody likes her anymore. So you kind of have to like read these things out of context of what those people have done, or like the bad things those people have done.
It's not to get too much into the weeds, but I always say like, hey, you could. I know a lot of people who love Transmet.
Yeah,
Who are just like, I still support it because Derek.
right.
So you can say that, but
Yeah,
also like, yeah, sometimes you gotta separate the creator from the art because the art is so good. I mean,
Right.
I always come back to Ender's Game. I love Ender's Game. Orson Scott Card's kind of a weirdo.
Yep.
So,
And then the last book I had after all that. Oh, actually, I read a couple more. I read Eniac #1. I got my hands on a Bad Idea comic. That book was wild. Did you read that one?
I haven't got around to that one yet.
That was really good. Matt Kint and Doug Braithwaite. Really crazy. Like the government, all the nukes on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Like they make this artificial intelligence, and that's basically been driving the world from like World War II, and it's been making all the decisions. And basically, they have this spec ops team that needs to take it out. Like this artificial intelligence is like about to end the world, and they need to stop it. Really crazy story. It's not what I thought it was going to be. But the Bad Idea. It was just cool to like have something that's it's only in print. So, and then crossover #6, man. I know you read this because you were texting me when it happened. Lots of stuff happens in this. I pretty much finished the issue and told everybody they need to read crossover after they read God Country.
Mm-hmm.
We get basically the guy doesn't shoot that girl, and then we get into the dome and we find out all the heroes in the dome are just Image Comics. This is like a love letter to all of Image Comics characters because you get in the dome, there's a big splash page. I mean, you see Battle Pope, Savage Dragon.
Yeah, Luther Strode. I hate Fairyland's in here.
Yeah.
Actually, there's it's not Red X. Fuck. Yeah. But it's a Dark Horse character is in the background.
Yep.
It's so many great characters, and then when I looked up and I just saw like Battle Pope shooting 2 pistols in the background, just like what the fuck's going on?
And then you get the Walking Dead zombies, and they're still in black and white. That was the great part. Yeah. So, the big fight happens. Ryan who's like the kid that was a piece of shit that burned down the comic shop, wants to stick around. The old man dies that owned the comic shop.
Hit Girl saves him.
Yeah, Hit Girl. Oh my god, I forgot that she shows up. That was amazing. Oh my god, I forgot Hit Girl. Yeah. It was just so cool. Otto's the old man that dies. Ellie at the end is she's pretty much like they want to go after the younger girl, right? Is like where they kind of leave off.
They get her to the portal, and then they go back, and the kid saves Ellie, And she's like, and he goes, well, we'll find your parents. They're in Denver somewhere.
Right.
And that's when she kind of reveals, like, yeah, my parents aren't in Denver. And spoilers, everybody, she's from the comic world as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think if anybody knows who that is, please send us a tweet and email something, because we were both trying to rack our brains. I don't believe it's somebody we know.
I was trying to look it up on the internet. I don't think anyone knows, but I think, so this whole time we don't see any Invincible characters in this Image comic things, and I want to think she's related to Invincible somehow, because she's wearing an Invincible t-shirt at the end. Like, they tease you this whole time. Like, they show all these characters, and I was looking for an Invincible character in the background. No Invincible characters. And then, lo and behold, she's wearing an Invincible t-shirt.
Maybe. I mean, there's a ton. I even was sitting around thinking, like, maybe it's a character, and then when this is done, like, Donnie has a book where Ellie's the lead character again.
Right. Yeah,
in their world. Cool. What really shocked me about this is I thought this was... We talked about this privately. I thought this was 6 and done. Like,
yeah,
that's the story.
Me too.
Done.
Yeah, and I thought they wrap it up, but...
And then I seen issue 7 being solicited because Chip Zdarsky and Phil Hester are doing it.
Yep.
And this is referred to as the first story arc. So
I don't know if you noticed, but in the back page, Donny Cates story, Jeff Shaw art, Mark Waid story edits.
Yes. Did we never talk about this?
I don't know if we talked about this, but he's editing the overall story.
So I listened to an interview with Donnie talking about this, and he had this. He said, I'm paraphrasing his words, but he said, like, I had this idea. We're going to do this. We're going to cross all the comic book worlds together, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And then him and Shaw were talking about it, and he just sat down and was like, there's only one person in the world that could help me make this happen. And he gets on the phone, he calls Mark Waid, like, hey, will you edit this book for me?
That's so amazing. I did not know that.
Because a few of the, like, superhero characters in there, too, are Mark Waid creations as well.
Okay.
So I don't know if you have it digitally, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's in your version. I would assume it is. But after the final page, if you keep going, there's a list of characters and who they're credited to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Battle Pope, Chew... Ghost X, yeah, okay.
Ghost X, it's not Red X, Ghost X.
Oh, Incorruptible is in it, okay.
Yeah, so you can see there. That's why, like, I didn't match any of those to Ellie, and then when I went online, I didn't see anything about it. That's why I think it's just her own character. Kind of like the little girl isn't somebody from something.
Yep.
But she's from the comic world.
Oh, I didn't realize they were in Astro City. That was the city.
Oh, really? They're in Astro City?
Kurt Busiek is actually referenced in it. They're in Astro City.
That's phenomenal.
Black Hammer was in it? Oh, man.
I saw that, yep.
Yeah,
because Colonel Weird was in it, and I love that scene.
Yep.
Book's awesome.
So good.
I can't match that intensity for my next couple. I read some good books, but I can't match that intensity.
Yeah, that was it.
I'll start with Robin #1. So this is kind of taking place after Robin has decided to leave, and he doesn't want Batman's help anymore. He's going to be his own man, and he starts fighting. He starts fighting in underground, like, cage fighting matches, so that he can get to the Lazarus Island, and he's going to find something out about the Lazarus League.
Interesting.
So he gets a credit to go there. He goes there and he meets up with everybody. He's being cocky Damian Wayne.
Of course.
And says, like, fuck all this. Let somebody just fight me. And then he gets into a fight with this girl, and I forget her name. But she's going, and at the end of the last page, she goes, you forgot one rule about Lazarus Island, and you just see her punch through his chest and pull out his heart.
What?
And so I'm like,
I'm guessing he can't die.
Well, the rule is that all fights are to the death.
Oh, so his heart gets ripped out. Okay.
So I'm like, okay, issue 1 of Robin, and he's dead?
They'll throw him in a Lazarus pit. Come on.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
He is a Al Ghul.
Yeah, come on.
But it was pretty good. It was fun. If you like Damian Wayne, it's fun.
Cool.
The Marvels #1. This is Kurt Busiek, and designs by Alex Ross, but not art by Alex Ross. And what we got here is a we're seeing some sort of timeline with this like foreign Asian country and how it connects to different superheroes in the Marvel universe. And then we kind of get back to the present. We got this guy who's giving like superhero tours through his, what was it, Kapoof app or something.
Okay.
And he's got an old Reed Richards Fantastic Four hover machine that he's like bringing people around New York City in.
Yeah.
And while that's going on, the Punisher's fighting some sort of Yakuza, and a big explosion happens right next to where this guy's giving a tour. And we kind of just cut to this random supervillain who I've never seen before, who gives a quick speech, and then it's like, and it all happens next issue. It's a very cluttered mess of an issue.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But it's Kurt Busiek, so I'm like, I'll give you a chance.
Nice.
But it is very much like a cluttered mess of like, what are you trying to do here, Kurt?
Mm-hmm.
MODOK Head Games #4, the final issue.
Oh.
MODOK meets the guy who created him, his father, and his father tries to reprogram him to say that like all the stuff that's happening with his wife and the family, that's just a computer error that he created to kind of deal with his emotions. And MODOK, as he's in this chair trying to like deprogram everything, is just like, fuck y'all, and kills everybody instead.
Oh.
And how he kills everybody. Oh, I just back up. They try to take away all of his weapons, and then somebody pulls out a cell phone. And it's just like, why does MODOK have a cell phone? He's a living computer. Then you go to the end of the story. And he's sitting there, and he gives a speech about what happened during War of the Realms, where he found a piece of the Uru and took it for himself.
Mm-hmm.
He took that Uru and created a cell phone case. So then he called the Uru, and it just went around and killed everybody in the room. And then he just grabs it, and he's like, I got my cell phone back. And he puts it away, and that's kind of the end of the book.
Okay.
This book is awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of, like, black humor, dark humor, gore, but it's right up my alley, and it just gets me so excited for that
the show. Yeah, nice.
Miles Morales Spider-Man #25. We're starting Clone Saga, so it's Miles fighting clones. It's not a bad story, but my big critique here is like, did we need to do this again?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we did the Clone Saga, and it was terrible.
Right.
I don't like. Can we do something different with Miles? Like maybe give him his own story, because that's what I was enjoying about Miles, is that he's Spider-Man, but he's different.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, okay, we'll get to the Clone Saga and see what happens. And then my last issue is Savage Avengers #20, which I sent you pictures of it privately.
Yeah. It was awesome.
So right in the beginning, it's the first page that I sent you, and Conan sits down at the bar with no name. And he takes a sip of beer and goes to the bartender and says, "What was in this ale?"
Yeah.
And says, "Well, we're the bar with no name. We can get it's left over from Oktoberfest, so it's pumpkin beer." And this is my line I'm going to give every bartender for the rest of my life: never serve me gourd ale again.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love Conan.
Always refer to pumpkin ale as gourd ale.
Yeah. So the rest of the story is like the Rhino comes in and is like, oh, we need to do a mission to help the bar with no name so we all have a place to hang out. And then Conan's like, okay, I'll do it with you. Because Conan doesn't really have that like black and white sense of right and wrong. And he has a thieving past. So basically him and Rhino team up to go rob a bank. And Spider-Man shows up, and Conan bests Spider-Man, and then kind of goes off along his way.
Mm-hmm.
This issue is like all Conan and no anybody else in the event, the Savage Avengers. So it was a little weird for a one-off story. But it does set up like Colin Gath, who they've been fighting and chasing throughout the world, resurrects one of his old priestess and says, like, go off and find Conan and kill him. So I'm sure next issue we're going to get the team back together and trying to fight this, like, zombie priest. But, yeah. Savage Avengers is a really fun book. Everybody should check it out.
Sounds it.
And, I think that's everything I read this week. So, Mike, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
You can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter. And everybody, if you made it this far, that means you like us. So go there and follow me because I might be announcing a new show this week.
Oh.
And you can find this show at Fortress Comics _ on Twitter.
Nice.
Everybody give us a 5-star review on iTunes, whatever podcast you use. Like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube channel. And if you want to be the extra special, awesome bonus person, go to Patreon at patreon.com/fortresscomics to get fun things like Bat Friends 3 days early and I don't know, possibly another podcast if we get enough people on there.
Ooh.
You know, fun stuff like that. And yeah, so everybody, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see y'all here next week.
See ya.